first time they heard the counting, they thought it was another camper messing with them. It was just after 11 at night and the fire had burned down to a low orange glow. Ryan, his girlfriend Claire, and his younger brother Mason had hiked 6 miles into Black Pine Reserve that afternoon. It was supposed to be one night in the woods. No phones, no noise, no stress. Just a tent, a fire, and a trail that looped back to the parking area by morning. The ranger at the trailhead had warned them about bears, sudden storms, and staying on marked paths. He never said anything about voices. Their campsite sat beside a shallow creek in a small clearing surrounded by pine trees. During the day it looked peaceful. At night it felt like the trees had moved closer. Claire noticed it first. She lifted her head from her sleeping bag and whispered, "Do you hear that?" Ryan stopped poking at the fire. Mason looked up from the flashlight he was trying to fix. For a moment there was only the creek. Then from somewhere deep in the woods the voice called out, "One." They all froze. The voice was male. Flat. Not shouting. Not whispering. Just loud enough to carry through the trees. A few seconds passed. Then it came again. 2. Mason laughed nervously and said, "Okay, that's creepy." Ryan stood and aimed his flashlight into the trees. The beam hit trunks, branches, and black gaps between them. Nothing moved. "Hello," Ryan called. The woods answered with silence. Then the voice came again. 3. Claire stood up fast. "That's not funny," she said. Ryan tried to sound calm. Probably another campsite. But they had passed the last marked campsite almost 2 miles back. And the voice did not sound like it was coming from a camp. It sounded like it was moving. 4. This time it came from the left. Closer. Mason grabbed his backpack and said, "We should go." Ryan looked at the trail behind them. In daylight it had been easy to follow. Red markers tied to trees every 100 feet. A clean path through the pine needles. But now in the dark the trail looked like every other opening in the woods. Claire whispered to Ryan. He turned back. Across the creek between 2 trees a flashlight clicked on. Just for 1 second. A white circle of light appeared low to the ground like someone was holding it by their knee. Then it clicked off. The voice said 5. Ryan's stomach tightened. He kicked dirt over the fire, grabbed the tent bags and said, "Pack now." They moved fast. Too fast. Mason stuffed clothes into the wrong bag. Claire shoved the sleeping bags under her arm without rolling them. Ryan kept looking over his shoulder, expecting to see someone step out from the trees. The counting stopped. That was somehow worse. For almost a minute there was nothing. Then something hit a tree behind them. A rock. Then another. Then another. Each one closer than the last. Mason whispered, "Someone's throwing rocks." Ryan said, "Don't talk, just move." They abandoned the tent. Nobody cared. Ryan found the red trail marker and led them back the way they came. At least he thought it was the way they came. The woods looked different at night. The flashlight beam made the trail feel smaller, and the trees outside it felt too dark, like anything could be standing 10 feet away and they would not know until it wanted them to. They walked fast for 5 minutes. Nobody spoke. Then Mason stopped. "What?" Ryan whispered. Mason pointed at a tree ahead. A red marker was tied around it, but something had been written on the fabric in black marker. 6. Claire covered her mouth. Ryan stepped closer, hoping it was a trail number to joke something old. It was not. The ink was fresh, still wet enough to smear where he touched it. Behind them, from the direction of the campsite, the voice called out, 6. Claire started crying quietly. Ryan grabbed her hand and pulled her forward. They moved faster now, almost jogging. Every few minutes they saw another red marker. 7, 8, 9. Each one tied exactly where the official marker should have been, but Ryan knew they had not been written on earlier. He would have noticed. At 10, the trail split. That was wrong. There had been no split on the way in. One path went downhill toward the creek. The other climbed into thicker pines. Ryan pulled out the paper map from his jacket. His hands were shaking so badly the map crackled. The trail was supposed to go straight. No split. No second route. Mason aimed his flashlight down the left path. Something white hung from a branch. Ryan stepped closer. It was a strip of cloth. Part of their tent. The one they had just abandoned at camp. Claire whispered, "How did that get here?" No one answered. Then the counting came again. 10. This time it was not behind them. It was ahead. Down the left path. Ryan turned to the right path and said, "We go up." They climbed. The trail grew narrow and steep. Roots crossed the ground like wires. Branches slapped their faces. Claire tripped twice and Mason kept looking behind them so often he nearly walked into a tree. After maybe 10 minutes, they saw a structure ahead. At first, Ryan thought it was a ranger cabin. Then his flashlight hit the side of it. A hunting blind. Old wood. Built high between 4 trees with a ladder nailed into the trunk. It looked abandoned. But there was a dim lantern glowing inside. Mason whispered no. Claire said maybe there's help. Ryan knew better. There was no reason for a lantern to be burning in an abandoned hunting blind at midnight. Then the voice came from inside it. 11. Claire screamed. A hand appeared at the small square window. Pale fingers curled around the edge. Ryan grabbed Claire and Mason and ran. Behind them, the ladder creaked. Someone was climbing down. Fast. Ryan could hear the wood shaking under their weight. Then the forest filled with another sound. A whistle. Not one whistle. Several. Different pitches, different directions. Ahead. Left. Right. Behind. Mason shouted, "There's more than one." Ryan did not answer because he already knew. The counting had never been one person. It had been people passing them along, driving them deeper. The trail ended suddenly at a steep drop. Ryan almost ran straight over it. Below them was a dry ravine filled with rocks, dead branches, and black water pooled at the bottom. They had no choice. Ryan slid down first, then helped Claire. Mason came last and landed hard, twisting his ankle. He cursed and grabbed his leg. Ryan pulled him up. "You can walk." Mason's face was pale, but he nodded. They moved through the ravine, trying to stay low. The trees above blocked most of the moonlight. For a few minutes, the woods went quiet again. Then Claire stopped. She pointed at the muddy bank beside them. There were footprints. Bare feet. Fresh. Pressed deep into the mud. Not one set. Many. And all of them were pointed the same direction they were going. Ryan whispered, "Turn around." Before they could, a flashlight beam swept across the ravine behind them. Then another appeared ahead. They ducked behind a fallen tree. A voice above them said 12. Then another voice answered from the other side. 13. The beams moved slowly over the rocks. 13. Claire held Ryan's arm so tightly her nails dug into his skin. Mason was breathing through his teeth, trying not to make noise from the pain. A man stepped into view on the ridge above them. Ryan could only see his lower half. Dirty jeans. Bare feet. A flashlight hanging from one hand. In the other hand, he held Ryan's tent stake. The man stood there for a long time. Then he said almost gently, "You're making it harder." Nobody moved. The man smiled without showing his face. Then he walked away. Ryan waited until the light disappeared. Then he whispered a creek. We followed the creek. They crawled through the ravine until they found running water again. The creek was cold and shallow, but it gave them something to follow. Ryan remembered crossing it twice on the hike in. If they stayed with it, maybe it would lead them back toward the main trail. They moved in the water to hide their tracks. Every step was slow and painful. Mason was limping badly now. Claire kept looking at the banks, expecting faces between the trees. Then they saw something hanging from a branch over the creek. The backpack. Not theirs. It was faded blue, torn open and soaked from the rain. Ryan recognized it from the missing hiker poster near the ranger station. A woman named Natalie Bell had disappeared in Black Pine Reserve the year before. The official report said she probably got lost and fell somewhere off trail. Claire stared at the backpack and whispered Ryan. Under the backpack, carved into the tree bark, were numbers. Lots of them. Rows and rows. Some old, some fresh. Ryan raised his flashlight. The last number was 13. Under it, someone had started carving 14. Mason made a small sound behind them. Ryan turned. On the bank 20 feet away, a woman stood between the trees. She was barefoot. Her hair hung wet around her face. She wore a dirty yellow raincoat. For 1 second, Ryan thought she needed help. Then she smiled and whispered 14. Claire screamed and ran. Ryan and Mason chased after her. The woods exploded around them. Flashlights snapped on everywhere. Whistles cut through the trees. Feet pounded through leaves. Ryan could not tell how many people were behind them. 3, 5, more. The creek curved sharply, and suddenly the trees opened into a gravel clearing. A ranger access road. Ryan almost collapsed from relief. Then headlights turned on. A truck sat parked at the edge of the clearing. All dark, waiting. The driver's door opened. The ranger from the trail had stepped out. For half a second, Ryan thought they were saved. Then he saw the ranger was barefoot and holding a red trail marker in his hand. Claire stopped so fast she slid in the gravel. Mason whispered no. The ranger looked at them, then at the woods behind them. He sighed like they had disappointed him. I told you to stay on marked paths, he said. Ryan backed away. The ranger smiled. Problem is, you don't know who marked them. A flashlight beam appeared behind them. Then another. The barefoot people stepped out from the trees one by one. The man from the ridge. The woman in the raincoat. 2 others carrying ropes. Ryan grabbed Claire with one hand and Mason with the other. There was only one place left to go. Across the road beyond the truck, the forest dropped downhill again. Ryan shoved Mason forward and ran straight at the ranger. The ranger reached for him. Ryan slammed into him with his shoulder, knocking him sideways into the truck door. Claire ducked past. Mason stumbled but stayed up. A hand grabbed Ryan's back. He slipped out of the struts and kept running. Someone behind him shouted. The first real shout of the night. Angry. Not calm anymore. That told Ryan they had done something wrong. Something the people in the woods had not expected. The ground dropped steeply. They slid more than ran, crushing through bushes and loose rock until they hit flat ground. Then they saw it. A fence. Beyond it, lights. Real lights. A road. A gas station. Cars. People. Ryan screamed until his throat hurt. A man pumping gas looked up. Then another. The barefoot people stopped at the tree line. Not because they could not keep going. Because they would be seen. Ryan, Claire, and Mason climbed the fence and fell onto the pavement. The gas station clerk called 911. Police searched Black Pine Reserve until sunrise. They found the campsite. The abandoned tent, the false trail markers, the hunting blind, the truck, but no bear for people, no ranger. The real ranger had called in sick 3 days earlier. The man at the trailhead had been wearing a stolen uniform. They found Ryan's backpack near the access road. Beside it was a folded piece of red fabric. A trail marker. On it, written in black marker, was one number. 15. Claire never went camping again. Mason still has a limp when it rains. Brian still dreams about the woman in the yellow raincoat. But the thing that bothers him most is not the counting. It is the fact that they were never chased at first. They were guided, moved from place to place, turned away from safe paths, pushed deeper only when they hesitated. Like the whole forest had been set up for them before they arrived. So if you were camping deep in the woods and heard someone counting in the dark, would you follow the marked trail, or wonder who marked it?